So I want to talk about what's the automatic default standard that should be placed for the next Devil May Cry game. All right. For gameplay wise, I definitely believe everything from the previous games in terms of DMC 5, DMC 3, DMC 4, DMC 1, all of that should be in there. Not necessarily in DMC 1. I think that's more so maybe a cosmetic change in dealing with some characters. But in terms of variety, I think that majority of those games with those characters in their move list should already be in DMC 5 as a standard. I mean, the next DMC game as a standard. Excuse me. DMC 5 is an easy one. It already sets you up, right? Because you already can go 12 items you could take with you. So you could take 6 range weapons. You could take 6 melee close quarters combat with you. Now, someone like Dante, I highly believe, this like is no question, doubts about it, no ifs, ands, buts, or anything. Like any of the previous weapons that you can think of that should be there, aside like Agni or Rudra and Beowulf, right? They should pretty much be there, right? King Kerber's is that's a staple point. Lucifer should be there. Gilgamesh should be there, right? Certain weapons should be there. You also can have the theory. I have a theory as well. It's not really a theory, technically speaking. It's not even technically. Factually speaking, Dante can create and recreate rebellion, as that he has the power of omnipotence anyway. So he has power over time, space, time, all of that. And on top of that, he has his manifestation powers and things like that from the imagination. So does Virgil, and so does Trish, right? They have these powers where they can actually do that. You've seen with other demons as well. They are able to continuously create weapons, right? So it's the way that you wield the power is obviously the mind and intelligence and spirit control and all that different things, dealing with the magic and arcane stuff, blah 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 blah. But regardless, in dealing with the gameplay, I definitely think those things should automatically come back, and I definitely think you should have all of the moves from DMC 3 without a doubt. I don't know what the thing is up with DMC 3. Now I did see where that data doesn't get backed up, so they consistently had to constantly keep making high definition to back up the data, because somehow it keeps getting erased. Actually, one of the big things dealing with DMC 2, the reason why it wasn't as good of a game as gameplay wise as Trish is because the data kept getting wiped out and they did not know how. So you had things like that that constantly kept happening. But regardless of that, that is a standard. Trish, Lady, Lucia, they are standard. Virgil standard, Nero standard. These characters should just automatically be in the next game because you can just port them straight on over. I don't understand what the problem is with that. That should already be the foundation in them anyway. The thing that you just do is just completely build on it. Heck, DMC 2 Trish and DMC 4 SE Trish would be crazy in this new, in the new Devil May Cry to be able to play with. Right, and I also think the cameo system should come back, but as full-on multiplayer. There's no reason why we can't have full-on multiplayer. That should be in there now. Now, you should have, if you want to still do the cameo system, you can just make that story mode. But when it comes to something like Bloody Palace, or even adding another mode where you want to do, where you want to chop down hordes of demons just non-stop and stuff like that, mess around, or like a PvE type of thing, you can do that. But make sure to allow us to be able to play with other people, because it is actually really fucking fun and really good. It was really good. I was really surprised. It was very enjoyable, right? Also, I think a level design, that definitely should be a higher standard for that. There's no reason why DMC Devil May Cry should have the best level design, right? That now we didn't have the true Clive off tree. It was, you know, the environment pretty good and everything, all stuff. You know, you have your dimensional spiral vortex realms, you know, that you're going through the labyrinth tree that the Qliphotht is. So that's all good and handy dandy, but I think it's time to get back out there into the good old purgatory, good old limbo, good old perdition, good old Valhalla, good old Elysium, good old Garden of Eden. You know, go to the darkness, dark dimensions. Go, you know, I think it just, we go to all these different places, the Makai, all that stuff. whatever you want to do. The worlds in between, the quantums in between, the space and time dimensions in between, things beyond. You make up your own. You know, the devil cry universe or something. I don't know. You just come up with different things. I just think it's time to get back out there and create a crazy level design, right? So I definitely believe, like, with dimensional spirals and reshaping matter and reshaping the world and terrain around you and stuff, changing, flashing the background, stuff like that. Also return back to power and dealing with the boss battles. I think it's time to go back to a design of Mundus, right? To go back into that. It's like they kind of was thinking that with Urizen, but then instead they just went with the, okay, we'll just have the Clyfar tree make an illusion. And the illusion that he wanted to do with his mind is the fact that, with the tree, is the fact that it ended up creating, his past home back in the freaking, where they were when they were younger. That was from his mind. But the thing is, they can do that anyway because they had got the Clyfar and the Sephiroth. People don't understand how much of a boost in things that Dante and Pharjra has got, but Pharjra has vast demon knowledge anyway, right? And he was messing around with time, and Dante went beyond Nirvana and all these different things, right? So they can do it, right? They can do anything from their imagination, from their mind. If freaking Pharjra wanna freaking think at a speed or faster than the thought of a freaking pocket dimension that's full of darkness, he can do that. Just like how Mundus did, right? So anyway, I just think we should just go back to that. Not more so the Savior boss route, where you did the platform thing. I think the Savior design was fantastic. I think the way he was powered up and stuff, that was all cool and all, but I don't think the boss battle was all that fun. I actually think it was probably one of the worst, the lesser boss battles that I would like to do. The space error thing, going into the different pocket rounds, pocket spaces, pocket dimensions, spatial dimensions, interdimensions, rifts, and things like that, that's way more fun. Switching, going to heaven, breaking through dimensions and time, extra dimensional space, extraterrestrial voids and worlds. I think that's way more fun because you can do whatever, right? You can have characters. I really think we should have a character throwing actual like galaxies or marble universes at you and things like that. That's really fun. Going back with the Sparta, and he was flying, the Sparta devil trigger when you were flying so fast through space. Well, through the space that Mundus made, because you can create anything, right? That any demon kings and gods can do that when you get to that level, right? Or if you fly off and stuff like that. Regardless, that is fun, right? Then you can make a freaking terra platform and change the space around you, and then you get up there and then you start slashing the space and everything around. Like, I think all of that is cool, but you just have to do the boss battle move set pretty good. But in terms of the giant thing, it's I don't mind it. The kaiju, I don't really mind that, but I think it'd be a lot better if you focus. You get your Kratos boss design, but you get it where he's doing things like what Mundus and changing different flashing different areas at you, while you also have a lot of darkness things going on. And I had this design in my head with a background where the demon boss, right? He was a man. Also, he's half human, half demon, and he had created a world. Took Dante, new character. I think a new character is cool. A new character where it was nothing but blood. It was nothing but a world of blood. Everything was stopped. Everything was stormy, raining, and then in a flash, he took you to a world of darkness. It was nothing but darkness, but a lot of different demons were attacking you and things like that. A lot of different demons from all across the games. I think from every game you could take, especially like the goatlings. I really think the abyss goatlings, which were the king goats of clans, those were really good as well. They were really good. You could take a lot of different demons and new demons, create new demons, and angels. I also think angels, vampires and stuff, and come in and attack you, things like that, or take you across through space time. right, through the dimensions, a wormhole and stuff like that, and you're fighting. I think that stuff like that is really cool. Then you back, right? You're back to on the ground, the terraform, right? And you just go crazy or whatever. It's more interesting designs. I think that should just be like a standard to really push a AAA game, like a AAA game, that blockbuster game that Devil May Cry really truly is. But a new character would be good. A new character, I think, more so focused on magic and physical power, would be a better stand-up, right? A better approach, and with his own personality that's different from Dante's and different from Nero and Virgil, but one that has really understood the environment and the things that he's been around and the characters that what they've been through and what he's been through. So he's a lot more tougher, he's a lot more serious than the others, right? But also he's more so cheerful too. But the things that has happened in his past has really shaped things that's going forward through his future. So I'm just saying, I do think these things should be a standard. Now, if somebody's like, "Oh, what about Virgil?" I think Virgil could use a lot of help. He's been using the same combo. He had maybe a few new moves here and there. I think he could have a whole moveset, a bunch of different moves. In fact, he should have his Super Morph Devil Trigger, where it was, you see Nero's Devil Trigger back in DMC4. He needs that back, because that was Virgil's Devil Trigger. If you played DMC4 SE, you seen that was Virgil's Devil. So that was his ultimate Devil Trigger. He was like a guardian spirit protecting Nero, or being sentient, right? Because it is him, and his will is tied, his life and will is tied to that of Yamato. So also Doppelganger need to come back, but not really like in the more so just 1 or 2. You should have a bunch of clothes like you did in the novels, and you should, or like a legions, right? Virgil maybe summoning legions of demons with V. You know, since V is in him, he has 2 spirits, right? So that can be a big thing. I would say more so say like maybe Chaos Legion, or maybe Bayonetta, or Black Myth Wukong. All 3 of those games did that well. All 3 of those games did that well. Actually, Chaos Legion does a lot of things well that people have actually been using currently. But still, I just think that's how it should go. So that would be really good. But that's just my thoughts on things, on where the standard should be default. Just automatically the character from the past. We have foundation. I don't understand why we don't use our foundation. There's no reason why we should not use our foundation, especially when you make Street Fighter and all these other games. They have plenty of foundation, right? Resident Evil, Monster Hunter, all those games transfer over to the next, keep transferring over to the next. Now I understand we always want to do something new and things like that and keep going, but in order for have full totality, full capacity of fun, right, every single time, delivering every single time, there's no reason why we shouldn't have all that. It kind of feels like we're getting robbed every time. Like DMC5 do in ways feel like heart robbery, right? Because a lot of it was just cosmetic changes. That's it. And we only had 2 costumes. So we really kind of was getting robbed. We was looking to get a whole lot, but we didn't. So, but I'm not going to go into too much detail on that or whatever. We still be out here, you know, contributing a lot, because Devil May Cry is literally one of the most iconic games, most beloved games ever. So let me know your thoughts. That's all I got today to say for that. That was just my thoughts on the standards for the next game. So peace.